All right, starting off, I've been told from various Ryu players and Wario players that Ryu's actually pretty good at this matchup. I'm not too experienced with either character, but I do think some of the aspects show. What I'm going to focus on is mainly one thing in neutral that continues to happen. I'm actually going to this pretty raw, but I saw this once earlier today. I'll try to remember the main points, and there's a lot of specific situations I'll go over, but I've noticed that they really break down into a couple of main themes. Okay, starting off. By the way, this is in 0.75. 0.75 just so it's easier for me to react and pause at the right spot. Also, this line in the middle is not mine. That's actually part of the. It's actually part of the YouTube VOD. I'm not sure why it was like this today, but the entire stream was like that. Okay, the strong up tilt Shuryu, like that's actually information that's gonna carry over for a while. Like he's pretty blatantly telling you what his goal is in neutral, and the plan that he's going to go with for actually the rest of the set is he's using the hard up tilt because it's intangible as well as the short Shuryu. That has less lag, but basically his entire plan is to stay in the middle of the stage and anti-air you. If I were to bring the entire set into one sentence, that's what it would be. Not Definitely not his safest approach to it. I don't think it ever like the hard up tilt works out that well for him either. But he is giving you pretty straightforward information on what he's trying to do and what he expects you to do. That wasn't a bad attempt at the bite. It was just the wrong spot. Again, he's not chasing you down. He's just staying in the middle of the stage until he sees. Okay, I'm gonna break this down because this is how it happens a lot. He wants center stage, and he notices all you're doing right now is this. Like he sees you, you're trying to use your aerial to get in, but you're not actually going to try and cross him up. You're not going to come down on him. He recognizes that all you're going to do after you throw him hitbox is move back. So he says, okay, he's on the ground now. I'm going to go ahead and throw out an aerial, and if he jumps, literally the worst case scenario for Ryu in this situation, which is why they go for it, is that he trades, he does 16 or 17% to you, and you do like, what, 5% to him every time? So he's waiting for an opportunity where he can either A, trade with you, or he lands on top of you and pressures you. And since you're jumping first, and you're not crossing him up, you're not putting him in since you're not actually pushing him in shield, he gets the opportunity to jump first like this. Gonna land on you, gets the trade he wants. He's trying to back air that bike, but you managed to get under him, which isn't bad. Again, he's using that strong jab because it is, if I'm not mistaken, it is intangible. Yeah, it's definitely intangible, at least at the end. So again, like worst case scenario is a trade. Again, another trade. He's trying to strong jab you, and you're doing something to catch him jumping, but he hasn't been doing that at all, except when he's in advantage like this. Now he's feels comfortable jumping because he's just going to intercept you. And again, like even on his chase down, he's not chasing you. You like if you notice, you were in the air, and the only thing he's doing, which more players should do in general, you'll see MK Leo do this, and I think he's probably the best example of a really clean punish game. He recognizes, okay, you already use your bike, you already have no jump. I don't have to chase you down here. The worst case scenario is maybe you back air me, I perfect shielded, and I punish you. If you don't do anything, then he still has center stage, and he's on the ground, which is quite honestly, besides being like in an advantage state where you're comboing somebody or pressuring somebody, being in the center of the stage and on the ground is the best possible position he can be in. So this is a win-win situation for him, and he just has to react to you landing. And again, this time you're like, okay, I'm gonna mix him up because I don't want to land far away from him. I've already jumped off of my bike and everything. He recognizes that. All he has to do is shield and wait for you to land again. Something I also noticed, this will come back later, you tend to use bite aggressively, like when you're trying to extend something, but you can also use it like when you're trying to land, and you should be, you're at a pretty obvious disadvantage, because all that Charles is trying to do is react to like a forward air, a back air, shield it, and then punish you afterwards like this. So that's just a small issue of where you could use your bike. Again, he's just gonna, all he wants to do is shield. Also, obviously something big about the Ryu matchup in general, he's going to be up tilting your shield. Like I know you've played Jumbo a lot, you've played with Trella before. Like everybody in Houston's pretty aware of what your options out of that are. And actually, to be honest, I don't really care about as much of what your option out is, except in certain situations. But generally, it's more about how you got into that situation in the first place. Because when Ryu uptilts your shield, it's basically him. Like imagine it's Ike using a Space Warrior on your shield. Like he's won in that situation already. It's because you've done something wrong to put yourself in that position. And in all fairness, he essentially wins. And like what you did wrong was trying to land on top of him with an aerial, as opposed to maybe biting him or maybe just floating away. Because Troll's not going to chase you with like a dash attack or anything that you can intercept with a back air. He's been pretty straightforward telling you that. Again, he's using that focus because he knows after you landed, you're going to try and jump again. So he felt comfortable using that. That was just a straight up good bite. This is also a straight up really good bite. Okay, that was kind of rude by Troll. Like there wasn't. I won't say there's anything wrong with that interaction there. It was just that he felt confident and got the nice read. Again, he's just trying to anti-air you like that, and because you stayed grounded and just waited and shielded, you got that punish. That was pretty free. Again, that wasn't. I see what you're going for. That was the right read. He did shield. You just ended up doing it wrong. I don't know what that out smash is about. And again, you're expecting him to try to run up and like challenge you here, but like something about Troll's playstyle in general, you notice he's very, very specific about staying right outside of your range. As aggressive as he is, in neutral, he's very, very specific about being just outside of your range. He's not going to run straight into you, except at certain times when, again, the worst case scenario for him is a trade, which is why he's not going to like run into your bite. He's trying to stay like right in the center of the stage. He's like, oh wait, I'm in his range. I'm not going to over approach or overextend here. I'm just going to get the ground that I need and then react. So you kind of gave him this free. Because I can't remember the last time he ran up and shielded in neutral against you. He's only done it to catch your landing. Again, I don't know how that bite beat the back air hitbox, but good job. Okay. It was very nice that you didn't give up your double jump because he would have punished that for sure. He saw you landing, and here again, he's trying to challenge the hitbox. I don't know which. I think he was trying to up air it. Perhaps, maybe an air. Oh, this is back air. But you intercepted him in time. Again, you're not getting much out of it, and he knows that, which is why he's comfortable jumping there. It's not necessarily a neutral, at least in this set, it's not, excuse me. It's not necessarily about what is Troll doing that's like that's preventing you from doing something, because you could still play around him in neutral. It's the fact that you're not aware of what he's not doing, and what he's not doing is not like running up. Well, he did just then, but for a specific reason, he's not running up, dash grabbing you a lot in neutral. He's not trying to stay on the ground and down tilt you. He's very specifically and very consistently only doing like anti-airs and trying to trade with you in the air. Yeah, now he's starting to do. Both of you are actually acting differently. I kind of want to see this whole situation again because I was talking over most of it. Yeah, that was nice because this time you actually just ran up to him instead of using an aerial, and Trod didn't know how to react because like you saw you guys both met each other in the middle shielding. He's like, okay, he's acting differently. I need to respond differently. He's holding shield and then spot dodges. Something that comes into play later in the set, I remember. He doesn't, like, Charles is not the type of person to hold shield very long. So he goes ahead and does spot dodge, but this isn't something he's done before, specifically because you did something that you haven't done before, and you actually just ran up to him and shielded, and Charles is not in the center of the stage yet. He's not comfortable yet, so he's not going to pick a normal option of just trying to anti-air you, because he doesn't know what action you're going to pick. I'm actually surprised. I'm not sure how he got out of that. Because I know Wario doesn't have too many true combos. Yeah, that wasn't wrong for you to go for the shield necessarily, but what you'd expect from you anyway is to try to up tilt you. So after you do hit him in a situation like that, it's probably best to back off and just take advantage of the stage that you had. Okay. Hard read, and you're going to get punished for going for a risky read like that. But again, you're going to roll out. Yeah, even the broadcasters give you nice DI. I'm going to end the volume. I'm not sure if there shouldn't be any volume. I remember I took out all of the desktop volume. Again, you're actually preemptive on how you're keeping him at the ledge, because this is your advantage, obviously. He's at the ledge, you're an advantage, right? but you just assume that he's going to keep landing. Something in general that you should keep in mind is if somebody has their double jump, just expect them to use it. You can cover like just by standing under somebody and shielding. Unless they have really good aerials, just by standing under them and shielding, you're simultaneously covering the jump away and them landing on top of you. Because if they land on top of you, you shield it, you get a free punish, and if they jump, you have time to react. But since you're not waiting for that time to react, you kind of put yourself in the worst situation. And Charlie gets back to the center of the stage, which is literally all he ever wants. Again, he's just waiting. He saw you jump. He's out of range for your attack, so he just reacted to you to catch your landing. Again, worst case scenario for him is the trade, and he doesn't mind this. You used WAF pretty recently, and he can. Okay, what was this reacted to? You're off the bike, and he's just gonna stand under you because, like I said before, just by standing and say shielding, this time he's gonna focus. He simultaneously covers you jumping away because he can react and dash cancel out of the focus, or if you do attack, he just punishes it for free. Again, you could use bite here in this situation, which you haven't been doing. I only see you use bite aggressively, like when you're trying to go for a pretty hard read and advantage. But because you're not doing that mix-up, he covers the options that you've shown that you're willing to use just by using focus attack. Again, you're trying to land on top of him. In all seriousness, like you got down tilted. It was really nice. Like this is actually really nice DI, but at the same time, in reality, you kind of deserve to die for that. Nice waft. Okay, I'm gonna pause and separate the video here. Alright, I'll try to be efficient with this since this is going to be a slower match. It'll be mostly the same interactions or the same kind of interaction happening over and over again. I should probably address the last game because I didn't get to the end of that set. I would have mentioned before, most of the issues you were having is how you were landing on top of him. Normal answer to that is you could be using bite more, or you could just go to the ledge more instead of trying to force your way on and using your double jump. Something else I addressed was how to approach him since he was just waiting to anti-air you for like going for forward airs and stuff. Mostly just approaching on the ground and being more patient. Like if you're near him and you shielded, that's when he started picking different options and options that didn't just like annihilate forward air and jumping. Since you were picking the same options, he didn't have to use any other options besides the ones that he was comfortable with. That's why I think you would win the matchup, mostly because you end up challenging him when you don't pick your what is necessarily your weaker option in staying on the ground. But Ree's going to keep picking the options that just flat out beat the better side of your character until you pick different options. I wish I could have gone over that more, but it's about this set now, I guess. This is just going to be game 2 on the Lilat, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Nair safe. And again, like, something that you're doing and moving back so much is that you're giving Nico space to space these, the Nairs and the forwarders and everything he wants. Because now he has time to get all the startup. Like, you got all the time. That's like, I think full hop back air, short hop back air is like 24 frames of commitment at least. And he had all that time in the world because you're staying so far back from him. Something that I noticed you do try to do, and it's more important to the matchup, is that you do intercept him with things like your forward air to prevent him from getting started. But since he's this far away from you every time, he gets his nair out and it's going to be spaced, and there's nothing you can do about that. You just need to be patient about how you get close to him, because the only way you've been getting close to him so far is trying to jump at him, and that's what he's punishing me for. I don't agree with that bike. He could have actually like countered you. He could have up tilted you, and you would have died since you were at this percent. But it was the mix-up that got you on stage. I doubt that grab was intentional, but he did get the bike. Nice punish. Yeah. Again, like, you're giving him so much stage. Now he has control of when he throws out his moves. That was a nice way to intercept him because he was going for grab. Either way, the forwarder is a pretty good option. And again, like, this is so right. Like, this is what you should be trying to do. Like, the forwarder, you stopped early. Yes, he could have intercepted you going down, But either way, like you catch him, like he was in shield, you crossed him up, and now out of shield, what he's going to do anyway, is jump, or like he's not going to want to stay in shield against you, and you're covering the air as you do that. Like if you're near Nico, you should be going for these options, like the nair and the forward air, but you're trying to go for them when you're way too far away, and that's why Nico's having like such an easy time intercepting you. Again, like I would have ignored that, but just to go into it more, like here you got like he was this far away from you, like you were over on this side, and you were expecting to have enough time to run up to him, shield for a second, change your mind, and then nair, and that's not like you shouldn't be giving him that kind of time. If you're gonna be near him, that's when the forwarders and stuff are good options, but you shouldn't be trying to approach like all at once or by the air. That was just a nice read on you shielding. Again, I'm just trying to speed through this mostly because if I went over every interaction, it would take like 30 minutes, and it's not worth it. Again, he has half the stage. He's gonna throw the back air and feel safe. That was a nice malk by him. You couldn't have punished that anyway. And again, he's super far away, and like all you can do at that distance, like it's right that you're not trying to run in at him because you would have been hit. Since he has time to space everything, you can move around like on the platforms to get closer to him. You can walk around on the ground near him, but outside of his range, where he can't just like turn around and grab you. But instead, you're going like super far away, and you're using like the bike to approach, which is actually nice because you haven't done that before. The only options you've been using to approach so far are like nair, back air, nair, like forward air, like from a distance. This time was a nice burst option because that I would have been caught off guard by that. That was actually really nice because you haven't been doing that at all, and that was way faster. Obviously, you covered more ground than you normally would have. You caught him off guard and you managed to convert off of it. Again, please stop trying to land on top of him. That was nice pressure by him. And again, like you're not. Like he uses the jab because he knows it's faced. He has time to run back, and he's especially in speed art. He's already this far away from you. Since you ran up shielded, and then you changed your mind, and then you tried to nair. Like you've done this twice now, and you're giving him too much time and like being indecisive about it. If anything, you can run up to him like shield, maybe spot dodge if you see a back air coming or a grab coming, but. Like even worst case scenario is like you run up shield and maybe he grabs you, but that's information is like okay, every time I run up he's just gonna assume that I'm gonna shield. So next time I'll run up to him and he'll be in the right spot. Assuming he's in the right spot, then you can go for like a nair or a forward air. But right now you're being really indecisive on how you approach him because it seems like you don't know exactly how he's going to respond. Although he's been you don't know how he's going to respond when you get close to him on the ground. That's because I think this situation's only happened twice. He's responded twice the same way. I haven't been paying it I haven't seen the set, so I don't know. How often this interaction continues to happen, or what he switches up his option, or if you switch up your option to deal with it. That was nice pressure by him, and the backslash might have been a misinput or a hard read. I'm not sure. This is a nice pressure by you. That's actually a nice malk, but the bite's super active. Again, now this is really nice because you're trying to keep him out of the air, and when he's on a platform like that, he doesn't have the only direction he's moving is towards you, and that's the best part is you were pressuring him when he didn't have room to get his aerials out the way he wanted to because he doesn't have the height because of the platform. He can't full hop, and then he can't get an aerial out well without full hopping. Otherwise, it's gonna just be a hitbox right at the platform. That's not going to be useful. So he's going to have to full hop. He's going to have to get down. He's going to have to waste some resources. But what he can't do is he can't do fully spaced forward air or fully spaced back air because he's not on the ground yet. And this is the right place to pressure him. Again, but you walk away to get the bike, and all of a sudden it's neutral again. But he caught himself on a platform, so it kind of reset. Yeah, that was nice. Again, that's right. You're intercepting his jump. That I shouldn't be going into details about interactions like this, but okay. So I do notice you tend to drop a lot of combos out of forward air, and Like if you notice across this game, and I think the set in general, like what you've been hitting him a lot with in neutral is like forward air, like when you're close to him and you intercept his jump, but you don't know how to like convert off of it, which is why I think me and Keandre were talking about like it is worth practicing combos, even with Wario, even if you don't have many, you need like really solid ways of pressuring people, and like even if the combo isn't guaranteed, you can still like force air dodges or force jumps and then pressure them from there. There's a lot of characters like Swordsman especially. I think somebody like I'd probably recommend anybody like watch like MK Leo. A lot of the stuff he does like it just plain isn't guaranteed, especially with Marth. But he manages to rake off like entire stocks, if not like 50-60% off of something that off of one hit that necessarily shouldn't chain into anything else. But you tend to drop situations like this. So basically, like you're doing an auto cancel back air, and he's already facing away from you. He actually couldn't have like if you had say like just moved back. I honestly don't think Nico could have punished you with anything without hard reading it and dash attacking. The shield was a bit unnecessary, but I see why you did it. It's not, you're not gonna die for it, so it's not even a bad thing. Again, really nice forward air, and this time you convert off of it. That was a nice read. Okay, nice reaction. I think you went to shield and dropped it again because you changed your mind. But either way, let's just imagine that Nico had reacted really fast and cut your roll anyway. Like, and again, like it's always better to just take the ledge instead of trying to fight your way back on. Especially like when a character with a giant sword has you in the air in a smash art and you're at 110%. That was actually pretty costly in my honest opinion, because I think you could have done a lot with that stock, as well as of a job you've been doing of like not dying. Because I think if you watch like this set in the past game too, like Nico has you up to like 90% or 100%, like something ridiculous before you even start like doing stuff. But you manage to hold on to your stocks really well. It's moments like that when like you kind of give Nico a freebie that like all of a sudden like everything you did means nothing. Because of how well you can hold on to a stock and get waft and stuff. If you're gonna let him kill you, then it doesn't really amount to much. Well, again, he's so far away from you, so he gets to throw out anything he wants. And that was a weird call out on the bike, like as you drop shield. But you got it. That was a bold read from Nika. Again, you can't land on top of him. Yeah, you need that air dodge. Again, in jump art, actually, it's actually like this is a Shulk stage thing. Like you actually gave Nico a bunch of space, and he could have like kept keeping you out forever. But because of jump art, in the way the platforms are, this is like Shulk specific. I'm not sure if you really care about it, but like it's the same thing with Battlefield. He can't like what I was talking about, if you give him space, he gets to throw out his fully spaced moves and stuff. He can't really do that in jump art because if he jumps, he's automatically on a platform. Unless he's in a really specific spot on Lylat. Even then, because Lylat's tilting, it makes it even more awkward. So he's like in jump art, he's going to be going for reads like Tomahawk grab, like he just saw. He's not going to be pressing too many other buttons because the platforms get in his way. And that's actually just a trend. You'll like if you went back and watched the game, that's also a trend. I like those space moves, but again, you gave him room, so he just back aired you. Like in situations like that, you could have just ran up to him and shielded, especially when you know he's going to back off. That was a nice trade. And the surprise the bike actually beat his hitbox. And now he's just gonna keep waiting for you. Like, look at this. He's not gonna run and jump. Yeah, he's not gonna run and jump like forward air or back air you. He's gonna stand his ground or try to tomahawk you. Again, nice catch. Now that he's near you, that air was beautiful. And again, you back off to give him so much room so often. That was just a bad back air on his part. Again. Yeah, I'll go back. So I can't remember the order. Yeah, like the only time I see you get near him and then actually commit to shield is awkward situations where he has time to see you get near him. Like there's sometimes like he'll space a move on your shield, and you know he's going to back off, and then you run up shield, and you just like I think you assume that he's going to grab you sometimes because you're not confident in the situation. I like what you could do to just get around it in general is be in the area instead of committing to shield. You can just be in the area. Like I think I can frame by frame this. Might take a second. Yeah, so you land, and this is actually a really good reaction from Nico, but you didn't necessarily. Let's say that you dropped from the platform, and instead of trying to get near him, you were just here. All of a sudden, Nico, like, he has time to space stuff, but if you were to get to this area without committing to like jump and having landing lag, and you're like, oh man, I have to shield because he could have turned around. He's too close to me. Like you could have like stood on the ground and like walked toward. Like this sounds weird, especially as a Wario player. But like if you talk to any good player, like they will tell you that walking is really, really, really good because it's better for you to react to options like him turning around, and you don't have to worry about dashing in and then shielding and getting hit by something when you tried to shield too late, and you don't have to have that awkward situation where you find yourself right next to them in shielding, which is that's the situation that you keep finding yourself in now because you keep like. I'm not sure where you dropped off. You might have assumed that he stayed in this spot, and that's why you ended up here. But he's not. Like you have to assume that he's going to move, and in order to be in a position where you can react to seeing him moving, you have to like not not run or not jump straight into him. Like just walking is actually a pretty good option. And this is the part I remember watching this. This irritated me. You could have farted, and I'm like 90% sure he would have died. But instead, you jumped and. Like, I don't care what happens afterwards. You lose. Okay, I think I had to cut the recording short anyway because of the timing. But yeah, that's mostly it.